Director Robert Eggers, best known for The Lighthouse and The Witch, will probably tell you that adapting a movie about Vikings is one of the most difficult things you can ever do because there's not a lot of information, historically speaking, and he will also tell you not to refer to these people as Vikings.
Right, you have to refer to them as Northmen because that was the contemporary term, right? Yes. Vikings came a little bit later in the land of Scandinavia.
So we will let you know what we think about this new entry coming up.
It was a masterpiece. I mean, I'm gonna give it 5 reels for sure. What?
Now, before we jump into our review of The Northman, we'd definitely like to remind our viewers to please subscribe to our channel if you like our content. Hit that like button and, of course, hit the bell button so that
Very
important.
Every
time we upload a video. And with that, let's go into The Northman. And Beto has a beautiful synopsis for you guys.
Beautiful synopsis.
A gorgeous synopsis.
I don't know how beautiful it will be, but here we go.
Worthy of AP English.
Well, I mean, to give you guys some context, basically we're looking at 895 AD. We're looking, of course, at Iceland. And it centers around a character named Amieth, first played by Oscar Novak as the youth version of this character, later by Alexander Skarsgård. And it's a coming-of-age story. It's also a story of rites of passage.
There's a lot of that in this movie for sure, guys.
Centered around like this intense
crazy rites.
masculinity. You have to be a man. You have to grow up and claim your throne.
And be a wolf. You gotta learn how to salivate and go,
yes. And so that's what the film centers around. And so what it boils down to is a revenge story. Of course, Amieth grows up into Skarsgård, and then
slash Tarzan,
and he seeks revenge because they kill his father, played by Ethan Hawke, and they
take his mother.
They take his mother away, and then what does
Nicole
he say?
Kidman.
What does he say?
He says, "I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fiona." And he says it over and over as he's rowing across the ocean.
Oh, that's right. And it's his uncle who kills his father, correct?
Yes, it's that's a minor spoiler, but yes, it is his uncle. Yes, of course, because that's what happens back in the day, right? Get sibling rivalries and stuff.
Yes. So, you know, to me, I actually think that I think I might have liked this movie a little bit more than you did because I'm all about sensory images in movies. I really enjoy the fact that this is a completely immersive auditory and visual spectacle. It's a movie that really immerses you into the experience of what it is like to live in the life of a Northman. I was
not
going to say Viking, not a Viking.
Yeah, don't say that.
But you really get up close and personal into the trials that they have to go through, the different trainings that they have to go through, the coming of age passages and stuff, and you really get a sense that you're like living their life, and the camera just moves around so seamlessly throughout to make it seem like everything is just naturally evolving and happening in front of you. So once again, just like some of the previous Eggers film, I'm sorry, I will not steal the spotlight, but with The Witch and with the Lighthouse, it's very much like that, where you get, you know, the production design is impeccable, the lighting, the cinematography. You really get immersed into the sense of horror and foreboding, and the movie does an excellent job of capturing your attention with that atmosphere, that gothic atmosphere. And so what do you think, Lenny?
Well, I mean, you pretty much hit all the points. I mean, really, it's when you talk about being very immersive, guys, you'll walk out of this movie feeling like a Viking and wanting to growl and howl at everything. Trust me, Eggers really steeped himself in this lore and this culture, down to the clothing, the Norse religion, everything, guys. I mean, and of course, you know,
did research on that, by the way, on the clothing to get it perfect. Yeah,
it's graphic. I mean, the blood flows like wine in this movie.
Yes.
So when you talk about attention to detail and the cinematography and the sets, the scenic sets, it's all there for you guys. I guess what kind of took it down for me a little bit is the fact that, yes, they go into his character, but there's a huge gap from when he runs off to avoid being killed at like 11 years old-ish, right, to when he's a grown man. And to me, that kind of hollows out his characterization a little bit, because I wanted some of that journey, some of that growth. I wanted also some of that relationship with his father, so that you really feel feel the connection and you feel that motive for him to go the whole movie wanting to kill this guy. You know, you just kind of got to take it on faith a little bit. And
yeah, you know, I guess it just kind of makes sense a little bit that these people are not very. You know, they're not
one-track mind.
They're not empathetic. They're not, you know, they don't care about each other. And that's actually one thing that I really felt in this movie is that these people are barbaric, and these people,
yes.
they do not care about your feelings. They don't care if you're a child. They don't care if you're a woman. In fact, there's plenty of mistreatment of children and women in this movie.
Oh yeah, and it's very real.
You know, bringing us to the Nicole Kidman character, by the way, whom I think did an excellent performance in this movie.
Nicole Kidman, easily the most polished actor in this movie.
Yeah.
Skarsgård really makes you feel like he is half wolf with all the salivating and the growling. I mean, it is a great performance. I mean, all around. Anya Taylor-Joy, they all do really good jobs.
Yep,
you know?
yep. And there's one scene early on in the film that really had me just so captivated and riveted, and it's that one.
I know which one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one scene where Ethan Hawke takes little Novak, you know, little Amyth, and he. Basically, it's just
how he becomes a man.
How to be a man, but it's so primal.
Yeah,
and
very raw.
And Willem Dafoe is in it, and it's just such a heart-pounding, pulsating scene. And Eggers, once again, is a genius. I do want to say one thing that bothered me about the film, I guess, is the pacing a bit. At times, I did feel its length, and I did feel that it kind of was slow.
Yeah.
But everything else just kind of made up for that for me, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave without talking about the techniques here. We kind of glossed over it a little bit, right? But they have very keen use of dramatic lighting. Really sets the mood here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
They have some one-take raid scenes and fight scenes that are very masterfully done there. And then, of course, you have the scenic sets and the spectacular backdrops. So
absolutely,
just kind of sprinkling that in there.
And to add on to that, I really appreciated all of the panning shots that kind of then stop and then start tracking slowly towards, you know, the characters. I really dug that, and everything is so thoughtful and well done in this movie as far as techniques are concerned. So, real ratings?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this a solid 4.5 out of 5 reels. I think that the movie is really spectacular. I'm big on visual and auditory, sensory, experiences when it comes to movies, and I think this is another great entry by Eggers.
Okay,
for sure.
Very well said, sir. Can definitely understand that. For me personally, I had mentioned, you know, I wanted a little bit more characterization, more character growth, right? I would say also, you know, the plot, you know, vengeance, fate. It's a very straightforward plot. You don't get any tremendous depth, right? But then again, it is back in the day, and you had mentioned that there wasn't much depth, right? So maybe I'm being overly critical, but for me, it did fill its length. So I give it 4 reels out of 5. I guess I just wanted to be pulled more. Like, I appreciate the art elements and all that for sure, but you know, that's how I felt walking out.
Yeah. And I also want to quickly, fair enough. And I also want to mention quickly, I'm really happy that they didn't shy away from showing you kind of like the mysticism and the magical elements, because you know these guys believe in Valhalla, and,
that's right.
And they believe that this
gods and demons
volcano was really the gateway to hell, you know. And so it's really cool how they incorporated the mythology into it. I thought that was cool as well. So anyway,
that wraps it up for us.
That wraps it up. Yes. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about the Northman. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And also look us up on social media. We're on TikTok and Facebook, Real Screeners, and Instagram, Real.Screeners.
Yeah, and as always, guys, subscribe, like, hit the bell button. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our online store, guys. We do not online. We do movie mashups on our online store, guys. As you can see, I'm wearing one now, as is Beto there, guys. You can find us at realscreeners.com, and we have a 15% checkout discount, so definitely look out for that, guys. And look out for our next Real Take on Movies.